Good morning, everybody. It was a cold night last night, but I was very cozy. I slept. I slept like a. I don't know what sleep, like a sloth or like a hibernating bear. So the time, it's not even 9 o'clock. That's quite early for me. So the temperature at this moment in time is 8.5 degrees. At 8 o'clock last night was plus 4.9. At 9 o'clock, so 1 hour later, it's gone from plus 4.9 to minus 3.7. You can see the reading in the top left hand corner over there. Hopefully it's appearing. And it kind of, the coldest is 11 o'clock minus 4.2. I think I must have been fast asleep when that was happening, because I was very cozy. I certainly didn't feel that cold. 1 o'clock was minus 1.7. 4 o'clock minus 2.9. 6 o'clock minus 1.7. And then 7 o'clock plus 3.5. And it's currently about 9 degrees at this moment in time, so it's quite cozy now, and it's not even 9 o'clock in the morning yet, but it's been a very nice evening. I just watched The Mandalorian. Typical woke takeover of The Mandalorian. But it's okay. It's kind of, the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian were really, really good. And this season of The Mandalorian, it's been good. If I hadn't have watched the first 2 series, I would have enjoyed the 3rd series if it had been like the first, and I still would be thinking it's a typical woke agenda with the women taking over as usual, but I probably would have enjoyed it more, because I wouldn't have had that expectation of the first 2 series. But I like the Yoda character thing. Whatever his name is, I can't think what it's called now. But anyway, I like the Yoda character thing, but I think they should be developing his character a little bit more. And if anything, in the first 2 series, he either wasn't really doing very much or was fairly quiet or fairly serious. But in this one, he turned into a more jokey character. It's kind of like just odd. It's odd writing. It's a bloody stupid, awful Kathleen Kennedy taking over. I can't help but wonder whether George Lucas now, I mean, I'm sure he's happy that he got $4 billion, but then he didn't even keep the $4 billion that he sold Star Wars to Disney for, did he? He gave it away to charity or something. So he's not even, I mean, he's not short of a penny or two, obviously. But I mean, he didn't even benefit out of it. I can't help but wonder whether he's kicking himself now that he sold the rights to Star Wars to Disney. I think I would be. You know, if all my characters were unceremoniously, stupidly killed off. I'm still pissed off that they killed off Luke Skywalker. I mean, what? I don't know. I mean, that to me just seems, and I think it's proven to be, just cinematic suicide. I mean, if that's not the stupidest thing that any studio could do, to take over a series, and then the first film that Luke Skywalker's in, he's not even in it. Like 1 minute at the end, and he doesn't even say anything, which to me was ridiculous. Because all the way through Star Wars, the first one, I'm like sort of thinking, as in Episode 7, I'm constantly thinking, Luke's going to appear in a minute. I'm like waiting all the way through. It's like this expectation that Luke's going to appear. And that was, for me, the whole point of it, the whole enjoyment of it. And I think any minute now he's going to appear, and then he appears at the very literally at the end. They could have just done it as an end credit as well, really. Like it was so small. They could easily have done it as a mid-credit roll. It was so stupid, really. I mean, at least you get to see him. And then you wait 2 years, and he's a hermit, stuck on an island, never leaves the island, and then fucking dies. I don't know. It's for me anyway. It ruined the whole. Yes, I've enjoyed The Mandalorian, and Boba Fett was barely passable, but I mean, I did watch the third one just to see whether somehow they'd resurrect Luke, because to me that was the only option that they had. To save the series was to somehow resurrect him, which, let's face it, they could have done it if they'd have really wanted to, but clearly they didn't. And I don't think they wanted to. I think they all want new female super-powered characters. And nothing against whatever her name is either. I think she's suffered because of it. She can't get any more work after playing that part, but it's just, something that you literally grew up with and was like your favourite film of all time, just ruined. Completely ruined. Anyway, sorry about that. I've been wanting to get that off my chest on a video for ages, actually, like for the last few years. And because talking about Star Wars and camping, they're not really... they don't really go together, do they? But anyway, I've had my say now. So, yeah, I mean, clearly it was a chilly night last night. But I can definitely say that a -5 sleeping bag inside a bivvy bag is fine. I'm always wondering, I don't know whether other happy campers have this feeling, but I'm always wondering how a piece of kit or pieces of kit would work in different scenarios. So normally for me, a -5 bag, I would be chilly in -4.7, which was the coldest we had last night. Yeah, inside the bivvy, because obviously I did it up, it was more than fine. It was I was comfortable. I mean, I wouldn't have known. Mind you, I had all my layers on as usual, including the down jacket. I had everything on. I was literally wearing most of my stuff. So I wasn't too likely to get cold, was I? But I then wonder if I hadn't have had the bivvy and I'd have just had, either a tent. Probably would have been okay with a tent because that's relatively sealed. Although in a tent I would have left the door open because it wasn't raining. How it would have been with the trail style or a tarp or something like that with no bivvy, just the sleeping bag. And I wonder, it probably would have been a lot cooler. I think a lot cooler because obviously the bivvy bag it seals everything in. All I ever hear is, not ever hear, but people complaining about, how damp everything is. Now, I will say that the outer surface was marginally damp during the evening, last night, during the night. When I woke up a couple of times, then, then there was some dampness on here. But I mean, it's only 8 o'clock in the morning, and probably even at 7 o'clock or something like that. But it's dry. There is no dampness, and there's no dampness on the inside of this either. It's just dry. So you can see down in there as well. It's just dry. There's no dampness at all. I might have to maybe just find out how to just clean off the top, because we're right next to the biggie. Look at the state of it. Lassie, stay there. Look at the state of her. Good girl. Oh, Lassie. I mean, look what... There's the piggy pool. Lassie. It's the piggy pool. So there is some splashing going on here, so of muddy splashy marks. So it might very well be worth figuring out just how to sponge that off with some pure soap or something like that, especially down there. Okay, well, we've left camp. I didn't bother filming in camp. One, I was feeling lazy and couldn't be bothered, and two, we've done quite a lot of filming in camp, and we've got 2 more camps this trip alone, so I thought I would just get going. But we're coming around Fell End, or whatever it's called, up there, Fell Side, Fell something. We're walking along this path here, and we're kind of bypassing, the hill up the top. This path was here, and it was kind of going in the right direction, even though I was partly thinking of walking to the top of the hill. I thought, well, we don't have to walk to the top of the hill, so if we can walk around it, she'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. I remember singing that actually when I was at school, and we were all laughing about how rude it was. Anyway, so we're making our way slowly around here, although we might still end up at the top of the hill. Most likely though, we're probably going to get to the top of the, what do you call that bit that's between two hills? Because I think, well, that's probably where we're heading for, most likely, is that the gap between hills, the cleavage is the cleavage between two bumps is probably where we're heading for. And basically the plan is we're going to get to the top of the gap up here. So the valley that we were camped in last time is that valley over there. So we're effectively just one valley over. The pockets on this flex capacitor for drinks, they could do with being a little bit longer, to be honest. They could do with being a little bit longer, because when your bottle's empty, it starts to ride up
which is not very good. I didn't bother carrying much water this time because I've been drinking tea in camp and I'm not walking very far, and we're literally heading to a valley the other side, so we're going to get to water pretty quickly anyway. What I'm thinking, because we've got a path that goes the way that Lass is thinking, but I think we need to go that way because we want to go to the other side. Tomorrow we'll probably come around the back and then try and camp somewhere the other side of that valley, over there, the far valley, and then that way we can probably get down to the car, you know, relatively easily. It's so quiet up here though. I saw a few bods yesterday in camp. Well, not in camp, but I don't think they would have seen me. But I saw a few bods up on the hills yesterday. But I haven't seen anyone at all today so far. They'll probably all come out later on after work or something. I checked the forecast and it's supposed to be not very much wind today and tomorrow morning, but picking up tomorrow afternoon with some rain coming in. With some rain coming in tomorrow afternoon. So I think tomorrow I might try and get going a little bit sooner than today, which was about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So we've come around this hill here, and that's a view that you have in that direction there. And for the first time I saw a load of people walking over that way. It looks like they've settled down and resting. I see one other person over there with a dog. But we're going to go cross country because we want to find a valley which hopefully will have water in it, and hopefully somewhere to settle down for the night. So we're going to head southwestish. We're pretty much going due south, so we're kind of going, that's west over there, south is that way, so we're kind of going southwest really. We want to be going just to the right of that bump. So the watch and Torquay Toaster mapping shows Dry Gill Head, which is probably where my thumb is there, that bump there, but it's not listed on the map, just a bump. So Torquay Toaster mapping on Garmin devices, very helpful. So we're kind of crossing this stuff here. It's a little bit of no man's land. Yeah, here. And we're basically just going to be looking for a valley down the other side that hopefully we can find somewhere to pitch up. They say that you can camp almost anywhere. It's a bit boggy up here in the Lake District, but so far my experience is that it's not impossible, obviously. It's not the easiest of places. You have got to hunt and search, and it probably is easier than the Peak District though. So we haven't quite got to that bump, which is probably around here somewhere. Unless that bump there, Draggill Head. Draggill Head might not be a lump actually, it might be the top of the valley. Right, so we're approximately here. We don't want this valley down here because that's the main valley, which probably is actually that main big valley going down there. So we want to try and find somewhere really just down here. If we get into the main valley, then we're going to be on a bridleway, and we definitely don't want that. So let's go and have a look and see if we can just see something down here, but not too far. That my empty water bottle just fell out. I admit it, I was chatting away to myself, unpacking, getting a few things lined up, and then looked up and realised I was not recording. Typical. Anyway, what can you do? Oh dear. You'd think by now I'd remember to hit record. I'll show you around camp later. It's not the best camping spot, but I think it will suffice for tonight. It's difficult to know sometimes whether it's raining or whether it's Lassie splashing or it's Lassie splashing. So we've got our camp spot here. It's very, very secluded and quiet here. It's not the best place here, I will admit, but you know, I think beggars can't be choosers, and I think it's a case of it's here, we've got water there, there's a flat-ish spot here, so I think it's kind of a case of just grimming and bearing it for one night. Last night's was definitely a better place last night, but I really do think we can put up with it for one night. I think tonight I'll have the smaller expedition meal, and I'll maybe save the bigger one for tomorrow. But it's very, very quiet here, so I don't think we're going to get anyone down here. I'll be very surprised if we have any visitors down here. That's, oh, the towel might be handy. That's hat and gloves in there. Actually, I want my nighttime hat. Gloves can go in there. The fleece I'll keep out. the pillow I need. I'll keep those gloves out. They can go in there. That's food. That's repair kit, first aid. That can go in there. So there really isn't anything else out here that I need. So I think what I can do, and my waterproof jacket I'm not going to need, hopefully. So, ouch. So that can go in there, out the way. My torch I will need. Cup and fuel I will need, glasses maybe. You notice I'm not really that bothered about hilltops and things like that. I mean, yes, you know, I probably would camp on, you know, on a hilltop, but I'm really not that bothered. You know, they're going to be more exposed around here. You're almost certainly more likely to have people wandering past you. You know, I'd much rather have something like this and we still have, you know, a nice view down the valley. Not that we're going to see very much from lying down, I don't think, but Lassie just splashing water all over my bed and mat. Thank you, Lassie. Oh. So I think we better, you can see that Lassie's being splashing there. That's clearly your spot there, isn't it? So I think we better get some water from just up there. I think that's probably the next thing to do. Let's cover. She's got everything. Just everything's soaked now, Lassie. All the stuff that I don't want to get wet. Oh, Lassie. You are a little scallywag, aren't you? Hey? Right. You can see the hound over there. That's our view from camp. You don't have to have a summit camp. You can have a camp 3/4 of the way up a valley or 1/4 of the way down a valley. In fact, we're probably not even that far down the valley, to be honest. Oh. But it's very nice. We've got this big bank protecting us on this side. We kind of got a bank protecting us down there, and then we've got this grassy stuff protecting us there. We've got everything that we need in camp. We've got the cooker there, so I will be having soup in a minute. I've put soup out to have here. I've got everything under cover that needs protecting under cover. Other bits I've got protected inside the rucksack, and then my boots are under the rucksack to protect them. Lassie's had her food, so her pack's up there. That's my tea stuff for tea in a minute, maybe after some soup. That's the rubbish bag. We've obviously got water to hand there. We've got the map, which I'll bring under cover later, and basically some bits here I will bring under cover a little bit later on, and obviously some, you know, rubbish.
As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please post them
below, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button to all, and I will see you in the next one the next day. Thanks.